Karen, do you want to give a shout out to anyone?
I have shared with everyone here that we're doing a podcast this morning, so I'm anticipating a great uptake of the podcast. And during our reflection, I will say I'll do a shout out to Scarlett, my newest little granddaughter. So she was 4 months old. So I'll just do a little shout out to her.
Yeah, so Scarlett.
I'm sure she's listening.
This is her white noise, Karen. Yeah. Don't worry about, baby sleep on Spotify. This is her playlist. Hearing Nana Coco.
I love it.
Yeah, love it. Welcome back to the Capability Corner. This is the podcast where we explore what's happening in healthcare, workforce development, and all things capability building. I'm Zoe Yule, Head of Learning and Capability at Ausmed, and who have we got? Michelle Wiki. Wiki, she's known as.
She's back.
CCO, now not Chief People Officer that you sometimes get.
Never.
But the Chief Customer Officer. And Dr. Karen Patterson, Chief Nursing Officer. We made it. We got approved. Permission slip signed. We're back for season 2. We're back. And today we're just going to have a bit of a catch up. It's been a big year. It's
already.
What is it? It's the 14th of April. It feels like it's the 14th of September. Where are you, Karen? Because we're both in the Melbourne office. Even though we're in separate rooms, we are in the Melbourne office. Michelle, you and I.
Yeah, I got separated from Zoe.
I am in Birmingham, UK. It is currently 7:13 in the morning and it's 4 degrees. So it's a lovely neck of the woods.
Day.
Out the back here is that they've got canals, so I've got water views and I've got the block behind me as well. But you can see over the corner there is the ICC, the International Conference Centre. So I'm over in Birmingham for the International Conference on Integrated Care, which is a fantastic opportunity and privilege for me to be here and presenting the work from my PhD research. And also presenting Ausmed's Know My Rights micro-learning platform. There's a lovely connection between the two. My research was about raising the voice of lived experience and listening to those who have self-managing their care at home and what worked well for them and why. And then one of the outcomes from it, 2 outcomes that I have been positioning and have gone with the themes. I was very lucky to present in the morning of the first day, so everyone was very fresh and I wasn't repeating what everyone said. So I know it's great to get in early. But 2 things was about the invisible work of the people who are self-managing their care and their family and their carers and those informal support networks and how much that contributes to the outcomes and is unnoticed within the care ecosystem. And then the other is about building capability for all. So again, recognising the work of health that people dedicate their time and resources to, which are finite in everyone's because, it's got to be shared across many things. And if we can look at how we can build capability for all and have a shared narrative, a shared language, and reduce the duplication and the waste and the gap. And that's where the Know My Rights has been really... people have been really curious about it here and it's been a really exciting conversation,
That's amazing. Oh, wonderful. I wish I was there with you. I feel like, imagine if we were all in London, maybe episode 1, season 3.
No, I'd be happy to be anywhere with anyone that wasn't with my children. So that's for me. Karen, wherever you want to take me on there, don't you worry about that.
We'll get babysitting.
Well, I'm sure Matt would like to see us. I called in to see Matt when I was in London at the UK office.
Well, hang on. We got so much to catch up. Let me pause on that. I know, because I feel like our wonderful listeners, they're going to be like, what? Who's Matt? We haven't introduced Matt. What's he doing in London? We'll get there. We're gonna cover Know My Rights, and we're going to have a full dedicated episode. There's a lot in there to unpack. But Firstly, Michelle, I walk into the office today. It's a random Tuesday in April. What are you doing in Melbourne? How are you? What's been happening? How's CX Land going?
CX Land's great. We love our customers and we love, do you know what? Working at Ausmed and with customers, Ausmed customers, is actually, really the easiest part of my life. Can I just say? When you provide a platform that is what they're looking for and does, a wonderful job in terms of compliance and regulatory support and governance, and they're happy with it, and I've got a team that really like doing their job, it is the pleasure of my life. Everything else about my life is insane and chaotic. But, why am I here? Why not be here? Because, look, the truth is actually I'm on leave next week. Don't tell Will, and I can't make it to SLT. So I thought, I'll come down and I'll work with the team and be a bit Melbourne-y and hang out. So, no, I'm here to, check on people and make sure they're all doing the right things.
Yeah, great.
It's been hectic in the wiki world. Work's great. Love Ausmed. It's going well. We're just onboarding perform like crazy. I don't want to get too productive, but that's just what's happening. That's the truth. And where have I been for the last 4 months? Just, when you guys know this, when your home life, like the water's here and you just, you can barely see her and sometimes you can get your nose up for a little bit of breath. That's probably what's happening in my world, but that's okay. And I thought, why not keep going with this drowning feeling? And guess what I've organised from July onwards? Guess.
A holiday?
Oh, I have. I've got a holiday planned.
Yeah.
But Karen, you can have one guess too. That was Zoe's guess. What's your guess? What would make my life more chaotic?
A puppy?
I'm going to do my MBA.
Oh!
Yeah, I'm enrolled.
Thank goodness.
I'm
the
accepted.
world needs you, Michelle.
Yeah, it sure does. What do you need but a wiki with 2 undergraduates,
Crazy.
2 masters, and now an MBA? Bring it on, chickens. Keep me out of trouble. So that's what the rest of my 2026 and the next 2 years look like, doing my MBA. So that's exciting. I'm excited about it. And that's a world first.
No one knows for us.
Only one other person knows about this. So there you go.
Now it's the cat's out of the bag. No, that's exciting, Michelle. I totally get.
I'm thrown because you had no idea.
No, I was going to comment on that feeling of being up to here. I totally get it. I feel like I'm on this absolute roller coaster of life. I know there's a song that actually has talked about that. But what's been going on is that, renovating a house with 2 young kids and a big job. It's coming along. Yeah, let's just say it's currently on track.
Let's say that, will we?
Scheduled for release at some point.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Lots happening. We'll get to the Ausmed updates. Ausmed is great, isn't it? It's been fantastic. It's been a big few months. Lots to catch up on. I'm just going to go round the grounds and let's just do a quick pulse check, thoughts, feelings on what's been happening, starting with the standards. Where are we at, Michelle? Last episode of the year.
I have no idea.
We talked about getting ready for audits under the new strengthened standards. What are you hearing? Your boots on the ground. How's everyone going? Have we heard any stories? What's been going on?
No, dead in the water. I'm going to say 2 things here. Firstly, thing 1. The Commission website, when it says you can sort by date, you can't. So I cannot find anyone that has had their reporting posted in 2026. It's outrageous. And the first 59 million clicks that I went through, none of them have had a 2026 report. So secondly, no, we're not hearing a lot. I'm still working on some reports, some feedback from reports in 2025 and actually, in fact, 2024. It's all talk. No one's had any official good solid visits with reports issued. I have had a few non-compliance, complaint-based visits, but those ones don't get publicised. And, of course, organisations are very reticent to kind of circulate those. So that's a little bit of word of mouth. I don't really, I try to respect, privacy there. But in terms of published information, we don't have anything. I don't know what's happening. And that's the lowdown with Wiki.
Well, that's exciting, juicy,
Isn't
full of information. But
helpful feedback.
Really helpful. Well, I think that's what I'm after. That's what you're after. That's what we're after is, thinking of an audit is an evaluation. It's part of the continuous improvement cycle. But if we don't get the information from what's being assessed and what those findings were, how do we know where we're at? How can we look at what activities we've been doing, maybe what's been planned or what's coming up and think, okay, am I on track? So look, maybe I'll put it out to our listeners. If you're current customer and have been through an audit, I'll be very surprised that we haven't heard. But anyone that we're not currently speaking to that maybe has an experience that you want to share, I don't really have our phone number. Michelle, what's our phone number? Is it 1300 Ausmed?
0490 304 684.
Is that your number?
Yeah, day or night. Yeah. Call me anytime you like.
Preferably between 9 to 5. No, 5 to 9. 5 to 9, I was going to say. Anytime. Great. On standby. Michelle's waiting.
So he's frozen. Or am I frozen, Karen?
No, we're not frozen in my world.
We're not frozen. Well, so Kaz, what are you doing after can I do the back and the forth for you? Oh, she's gone.
Yes. She's gone.
Let's try this. Let's try it anyway. We'll see what Nikki does with producing. What's the last 4 months been like for you, and what does the next 6 months look like for you?
Well, the last 4 months, as I said, baby Scarlett, so our fourth little grandchild coming into the world. Work-wise, I think the things that we started to kick off and that we talked about at the end of last year was the Cynthia Wellings PhD scholarship that we were preparing for.
I couldn't get it. That's why I had to go on the MBA.
No, you're unlikely to be eligible, but that's okay.
That's cool. Yeah, ineligible. That's what they said, ineligible.
So Ausmed is providing the 3-year top-up funding for that, which is a fantastic opportunity for someone to engage in research and also have that time valued. And what it's looking at is digital health. And, in true Ausmed style, it is about practice wisdom. It is about the application of theory into practice and practice into theory, and looking how through digital health we can build capability and we can improve care. So they're in the final stages. So April was the closing final stages of reviewing applications. So we should be able to release soon and our partners with this is the Australian College of Nursing, Australian Catholic University and Monash Health. So I'm really excited to be able to see that come to fruition. So, and then the other thing that we kicked off last year, you might recall, we went across to Christchurch for the Council of Deans. And in that situation, we were talking about the university's uptake of the clinical library and the use of the clinical library within their curriculum, supporting, in particular, clinical placement. So having the opportunity for students to be able to access evidence-based contemporary clinical education, both in preparation for their clinical practice, perhaps to think about scenarios about the application that they've heard of theory into practice, and also during their clinical placement, if they come across a clinical scenario or they have to, they observe an ECG or they see a stoma or they see a catheter inserted, they can actually go back then and go through the clinical library and see, learn more about it and have that sort of iterative learning in practice. And it's also the opportunity to start to build the habit of reflective practice and being able to build their CPD portfolio. So I'm really excited about that. We've had some great conversations and uptake from the universities. And I see this as a way, again, as I was talking at the beginning about that shared narrative. So if our students who are coming through are actually speaking the same language and having access to the same resources as their peers, whether it be in the disability, aged care or acute care sector, it's going to really change the narrative and build that, greater sense of collegiality and also that sense of I've got a resource in my pocket. you know, I've got people around me. If they're all busy, I can actually look it up myself as well and have a look and start a conversation. So they're the main things. Going forward this year is, as I said, picking up on the PhD scholarship, is sharing and being part of that process. But it's also one of the looking at governance, our trusted framework, which I know we'll talk about at another time, but also picking up on impact is one of my focuses for this year. And I'm really interested in looking at case studies or actually writing up some case studies. So again, please share Michelle's mobile number, contact her.
490 304 684.
And I'd love to be in contact with you about writing up some case studies, having some stories, some living experience of learning in context and capability building that we can share with everyone from there. So they're the things I'm looking forward to.
Beautiful. Loved it.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Well, I'm back. I do apologise for my connection. That's a wonderful synopsis, Karen, of what's on your agenda for the next few months. And I did hear you mention a scholarship, and I think that's who our shout out is for. And it is Cynthia Wellings, who is the founder of Ausmed, who now I think it's pretty damn cool to have a PhD scholarship named after you. And I think it's been a really wonderful thing to see come together, Karen, that you've led the partnership between ACU, Australian College of Nursing, Ausmed, and Monash Health, because it's a big sum of money, isn't it? It's almost $90,000 over 3 years. So we're really excited to see, and what a time to be looking at innovations in digital health and thinking about how we can take some of the things that have been really instrumental for us at Ausmed, that the ethics, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, as we did as a publishing company, and thinking, how does that now look in 2020? I almost said 2016 then, in 2026, with everything that we see around cybersecurity and AI, and making sure there's privacy and ethical and trusted frameworks, I think is a really timely point to be looking into that.
Yeah. And as Cynthia said, she wants to make a difference on the floor, like for the people, for improving care and improving outcomes. So making that connection between the cyber and the technology and improving care. So I think, and obviously from a nursing perspective. So really I'm very excited. So yeah,
that's great. I got my renewal. Did you get your renewal email?
My renewal review.
I did.
Renewal review. Yep, renewals are open. Has anyone seen the billboards that we've got out? Michelle, you have.
I drove past them.
Parramatta Road?
No, that one's gone now. I think we're at North Sydney. The last one was Roselle, and one of our Sydney siders captured, which was exciting as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're all over the shop. It's quite near us. They're around the hospital precincts for us in Sydney, so that's been really exciting to see.
Yeah, so hopefully some of our listeners have seen it. Basically, we've got a national billboard campaign, which I think is super, super cool. I got goosebumps when I was with my kids driving, and had to be careful not to, have a crash. But we all got very excited when we pointed to it. My daughter keeps referring to it as the Ausmed Bombers, like it's some kind of football team or something. It's quite strange. It makes us all laugh. We're like, no, it's the Ausmed billboard. Yeah, it's the Ausmed Bombers. Anyway, keep your eye out. Billboards, social media ads, radio. The song's very catchy. It's a super, super catchy clip. And we're going to be at the ACN, Australian College of Nursing Careers Expo this Saturday. So we hope to see.
Are you working Saturdays though?
I am working Saturday this week.
Nightmare. Yeah. What are you doing that for?
Well, I do. Karen said her soft spot is research. Mind students. Anything that gets me in front of students that I can have a good old career chat to and, enable, inspire. But we're going to be doing dancing. There's lots of dancing because this whole campaign, it's called the Renewal Review campaign. And essentially for all of the nurses out there that need to re-register or renew their registration before May 31st, we are saying at the same time that you renew your registration. Don't just renew it. Do a renewal review to see if you can actually save a little bit of money with all the costs in life going up, particularly fuel. It cost me $180 yesterday to fill up my...
You've got an EV though, so I don't know how that happened.
No, I'm on diesel, darling.
I know.
Diesel, $180. There was no EV there.
Yes.
Least Ausmed can do is just wipe a bit of off the cost of your PII and cost of CPD. So check it out, the renewal review, and tag us in a post or send us an email or text Michelle on
0490 304 684.
if you find yourself in front of a billboard. But we just finished up a really cool AI series, the events that we ran over the past few months. Where did we go? We went to the Gold Coast, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide. Perth. Did I forget any?
Dubbo.
No.
Toowoomba. No, we didn't quite do a regional
Albury,
series.
Wodonga.
We used to do local nurses conferences all over the shop.
Bring them back, I say.
Bring them back. Do you want to organise them, Karen?
I'll give Michelle's mobile.
Give Michelle's mobile. Any speaker that drops out, call Michelle.
By pressing 1 after dialing 0490 304 684.
Well, it was definitely
2 or no more events.
No, okay. Yeah, it was definitely a team effort. When our final episode was on, I think that was just before the Melbourne event. Michelle, you hosted Gold Coast and Sydney. I
sure did.
Melbourne and Adelaide, and then life got up to here and I said no, I can't go to Perth, so I think Will and Robbie hosted that one. And Karen, you were present at many of those, clocking up your frequent
all of them
points.
Were you?
All of them. No, I
except
didn't
Adelaide.
go to Adelaide. No, I did go to most of them, and it was fantastic. And I think the conversation, there was so much appreciation of bringing people together into a room and talking about their experiences in regard to, the possibilities of AI, how to apply it within their context, what they'd learnt, both from an industry perspective, from an academic perspective, and from, a practical application perspective. And I think we've received so much positive feedback and, just sense of, we're in this together, and that Ausmed in itself is really leading the way. And I think also from the Leaders Summit in Sydney with Will's presentation there in regard to the use of AI, but, also leading into knowledge verification, that we'll talk back another time. But just that Ausmed is a thought leader and is really taking the initiative to bring things to the table and not afraid to have the conversations about the implications. And it's not just about Ausmed, it's actually about everyone and change and evolution, emergence, all of those things. So I really think it was great. Showcases were great.
Absolutely. All right. So who was the greatest? Let's be honest. Who was your favourite speaker? There's
Michelle.
Always one. Go, Michelle. Across
I was her favourite speaker. That's what I'm saying.
Were you on the panel? You were on a panel.
No, just facilitating, but that's how excellent I am. That's just how excellent I am. Yeah. Okay. That's a big question, Zoe.
She's being serious.
That's too big a question, because everyone came, there were some people, because obviously I love research, and so there were some people who are engaged in research and the build of new tools and applications. And then there were people who were talking about the application in context and how they had to prepare the change management of their workforce and introducing technology to their residents, and so it was from I couldn't say which
different.
was
It was
my
lots
favorite,
of different angles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a favorite, so I'm happy to share.
This was all leading to something. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Well, it's all about
Clearly,
you.
Karen.
I
It was
know. Well, it just really stood out. I think I hosted Melbourne and Adelaide, and we had Tom Kelly, who was the founder and who is the founder and CEO of Heidi Health, at the Melbourne event. And it was just so cool to be in I felt, a little bit starstruck because, Heidi's a Melbourne-based company that gone global, huge inroads into the medical scribe sort of area of AI, and it was just really cool to have, as you said, Karen, we had the research perspective, we had Tom, who is building an amazing Australian company, and then also the change makers on the ground, and all of those voices in the room thinking about how do we do it well, how do we get people embracing it, and what were just the small, really practical things that everyone could do as of tomorrow. And I had a fabulous time facilitating that.
So I think Nathan also captured the key learnings from each session is on Ausmed website.
They must be available
so
somewhere.
we can link them to the podcast, which were really helpful. I found that helpful to look at.
Yeah, I think so, because you're right in that it was successful because we brought people together, and it was really nice being together in a room, nice food and drink, and a good conversation. But it is great that we can share that, so we'll make sure we pop the link out. You mentioned knowledge verification, so I think really nice segue into one of the other technologies or features that we've been building. What's really, really great has been the collaboration that's gone into that between the product, governance, education, customers. The team has put a really, really great feature together. And I think, if I just introduce it in essentially saying there'll be lots more, we could do definitely a whole episode on knowledge verification. But what we are releasing in a pilot phase at the moment is, a really cool feature called knowledge verification, which is a summative pre-assessment that allows, drum roll, that allows our audience, who are adult learners, so staff members, to demonstrate existing knowledge. And what's really cool is that if the staff member is able to have that knowledge, that existing knowledge verified according to the pass mark and the number of attempts, so the settings that the organisation sets, then that staff member for the eligible modules doesn't need to go on to proceed to completing the full mandatory training module. On the other hand, if a staff member doesn't meet the minimum requirements set by the organisation, then that's when there are gaps identified and they're required to complete the module. So not all content is suitable for knowledge verification, or KV as we're calling it, but it really helps formulate some more adaptive pathways in terms of what learning people go on to do. So that's what we've been working on. I feel that needs a bit of
it's a whole new episode.
You
want to celebrate? Sure. I want an episode.
Okay,
What's interesting though is that I am going to call my next kid KV because it's just so fun to say. KV. Yeah, it's good. Little KV wiki.
And I just want to pop in there that we'll pick up on is that KV is part of a system. It's part of our capability building system, which is a really important part. And the knowledge is being the foundation. And if a person can validate that they have that knowledge, they then have the opportunity to grow and learn and build skill and competence and continue in. So it is about respecting our workforce, inviting their engagement to continue to grow and learn, rather than keeping them stuck and getting them in a space which is about, this is a waste of my time.
Training
it really
fatigue.
is about thinking about valuing, and I'm really excited. And as we said, it is an assurance strategy as well. So with my governance hat on, like it's a bit, it'll be interesting. It's a bit groundbreaking to actually have an assurance strategy around mandatory training, which is normally just a completion measure, to actually be able to say that I feel my staff have met this requirement, and we're going to focus our energy on the areas our staff need, rather than just repeating the same thing over and over again. So I think it's going to be a real mind shift change.
Speaking of audits, we're excited. And we see this as, as Karen said, part of the training system, because essentially it provides more than just a completion data, which we've always had access to. Was it done? Yes, it's marked as done. But actually gaining comprehension data and being able to then use that to do more targeted training, to train where it matters, and to not train and not increase training loads if that staff member is able to demonstrate existing knowledge. It's one of those things that just makes sense.
And from a psychological safety perspective, there's the option that the person can just complete the module. So I think that's also an important, thing from there for people to get, because it is a change. And we've got our early adopters, and then we've got those who'll watch and see. So I think having that in place is a really person-centered approach.
Definitely. Absolutely. So we'll definitely do a whole episode on KV. And I might give a little plug to my first webinar in months and months and months. I need to get my slides prepared for that one. But we're
when is this happening?
This is oh my gosh, is it next Tuesday? No, it's 2 weeks. Oh gosh, thank goodness. It's 2 weeks, Tuesday the 28th of April, 1 p.m. I'm going to be presenting alongside Ben Quartermain. Maybe we should give our shout out to Ben Quartermain.
Oh, Ben Quartermain.
Yeah, Ben Quartermain, BQ.
Good old Benno.
Absolutely.
Good old
Benno.
Benny.
Good
old Benji.
BQ.
Oh, right, sorry.
BQ has been the product manager who, alongside the dazzling Darren, the designer. You're just making up stuff, man. I know I'm not. I actually call him Dazzle. Yeah.
Dazzle.
That is true. The Dazzle.
How embarrassing.
They've put a lot of work into KV. So shout out there. But would love to see you along at that webinar. Really important opportunity to learn more about the feature, how it works. Ben's going to do a demo, but from Karen and myself, because Karen, you'll probably be there as well. I don't know. Maybe we have or haven't put that in your calendar yet.
I land that day. I land at 6 o'clock in the morning. So you'll see a different me.
This is at 1 p.m. Oh, good.
Okay, just plenty of time.
Yeah. That's all right. When you fly in first class, you'll be refreshed and revived first.
I'm a good sleeper. All good.
You are. You talk about that. You really are. So that'll be great, because there's been a lot of thought, a lot of consideration, a lot of work that's gone into the development of the feature, consultation with work health and safety experts, regulation experts, a lot of governance, a lot of educational best practice alongside the key voice of the customer. So we're excited to bring you that one. So just briefly before we wrap up our first episode back, couple of things. One, Gen Learning. We talked a lot about it last year. It's in our product. We've got AI simulations. We've got questions that generate coaching or feedback on the answer. If you are documenting CPD, we've got generative reflection. You can use the dictation as well. I just love the dictation bit to help document. But what are you hearing, Michelle? Feedback from learners, customers around generative learning? Has it been helpful? Is it? Oh, God. Should I ask a different question, Karen?
No, they're loving it. Go, Kaz.
Well, mine's probably back to the know my rights again, because within that is that AI simulation space, and being able to practice, from a person, an individual is able to practice talking about what's important to them. And they're also able to get some feedback out how to communicate it clearly and do it in a safe way. And they can keep doing it as many times as they want. but also how it's actually gives the opportunity for not only the individual, there's a space for an individual with an intellectual disability, with a family or carer member, for a support worker and for a health professional, all to practice in their own space. And I just feel that that is so exciting, and the feedback and I know we started about talking about Matt in the UK, who we haven't introduced yet, but talking to the people there, he's staying at night, like the office in Nightingale, Hamilton. Their research people they've got a whole lot of stuff in right spaced, and like I can just see the work that we're doing about creating space, using AI-enabled technology for people to learn and build capability is really changing the way people see things.
That's great. Yeah, I love it, because I think something like a simulation that's now possible in online learning or e-learning, whatever word you're using, is only because of generative learning. Like, simulation's been around for donkey's years, but it hasn't been part of the online learning modality. But because of generative learning, we can now start to build on in a learning experience, not just knowledge, as you said, but skill, and offer the learner the opportunity to practice. So in like modules on palliative care, communication, end of life, we can teach some knowledge or provide that knowledge level, and then using that Miller's model of clinical competence actually go up and say, and we can start to do skill. We can now give you an opportunity to practice what that communication theory looks like, and then have that graded. And then competency. So we're not just we're not just doing learning, we're not just doing knowledge, we're actually moving that learner up from knowledge, acquiring and testing a skill, and then assessing and demonstrating that competence in practice. Which
I
is
love in the generative learning. I'm just going to add in there, Zoe, that it is about accuracy, like feedback around accuracy based on the rubric, but just around empathy. So getting that feedback about your communication and empathy, I think that's also like a key game changer, because a lot of our health is about accuracy and having the content right. But if it doesn't communicate clearly or with empathy to someone, the likelihood of them taking on board that information or being able to hear it is reduced. So I just think the generative learning is creating that, rounding out from being about accuracy, but clarity and empathy to actually communicate that message to another.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's all very exciting. And I feel another episode needs to be dedicated to competency. That's another thing we've just touched on. Add that to the list. See why they invited us back for another year? There's a lot to cover. We're ditching the paper-based competency assessments. We've digitalized that. And there's been a lot of work going on getting ready. We're in the pilot phase at the moment, and then about to launch Ausmed competency, so digital competencies with built-in content for aged home care. So that is very exciting. But I'm looking at our show notes, Michelle. There's a vacant box for Wiki's rant. Where are we
because
at? Are you happy?
2026, I'm serene.
You're zen.
I'm calm. I'm zen. I breathe in all the way, and I breathe out all the way. Yeah. So, no, you're going to have to come back if you want a Wiki's rant next step.
I feel like, okay, give it a month and we're going to have a Wiki's rant. Let's see what episode 2 brings. All right. Anything else to wrap up? Michelle?
No, you're on a deadline today, Zoe. Let's be honest. I'm all good, and I'm looking forward to competencies coming out. Let's talk more about that.
Yep, sounds good. Karen, any last thoughts from Birmingham?
No, all good. Looking forward. We've got so much to talk about, so I'm sure that we can bring it all together. You bring us home, Zoe.
And we haven't talked about Matt, so we'll leave that there.
Oh, that's, leave Matt hanging.
Talk about Matt.
I know.
Why are you obsessed with talking about Matt?
Who's Matt?
I hope Matt's listening. Matt's going to get a whole episode. You'll hear all about what Ausmed has been doing in the UK. That's all I'll say. All right, just one last plug to the Knowledge Verification launch webinar. That'll be on Tuesday, the 28th of April at 1 p.m. We'll hopefully have Karen there, depending on how jet lagged she is coming off her flight. Keep an eye out for the renewal review billboards. Take a selfie, text Michelle. Send
0490 304 684.
Anyone that texts her, you're going to get a shout out in the next episode.
For sure. Go for
and
it.
Speaking of, we would love to hear from you. If you've got thoughts, feelings, emotions, concerns, red flags, a hot take, or a topic you want us to cover. Case studies, impact, reach out, podcast@ausmed.com.au. Follow us on LinkedIn for more insights and updates. Not from me, I've been very dormant, but I'm hoping to do a renewal review on my LinkedIn contributions. You've been pretty good, Michelle, lately.
Zoe, go and pick up your children.
Yeah, okay.
Stop talking. I've got a hard deadline. All right,
that is correct. It's school holidays. I have a hard deadline. Subscribe to the Ausmed Toolbox for articles and resources. And I think we'll be allowed back for episode 2 of season 2. So see you all next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.